Hey everyone. It seems like every day we're hearing about how vital it is to support Ukraine.
Absolutely.
But today we're going to go deeper.
Yeah.
We're going beyond those headlines you see everywhere to really understand WHY that support is so critical,
I think that's so important,
especially now.
especially now.
We're using an excerpt to guide our deep dive today.
Okay.
It's called Why Now is the Perfect Moment to Stand with Ukraine for Freedom and Security.
I like it.
We're going to explore the worldwide impact of this conflict,
Hmm.
but also zoom in on what Ukrainian veterans are facing
Yeah.
as they return home,
When they come back.
back to their lives.
Yeah, so you know what I find really fascinating about this excerpt is how it frames the whole situation
Okay.
within a larger historical context.
Okay.
It reminds us that when the world hesitates in responding to these international crises,
Right.
things rarely end well.
Yeah, it's almost like that old saying,
Oh.
a stitch in time saves nine,
Yeah.
but on a global scale.
Exactly. And, in this case,
Yeah.
instead of sowing, we're
Right.
talking about geopolitics,
Hmm.
putting it off, delaying action. It just leads to bigger issues down the road
Absolutely.
for everyone.
Yeah, so it's not just a local problem.
No.
It's a global one.
When a nation like Ukraine is under attack,
Right.
any hesitation from the rest of the world empowers the aggressor.
It emboldens them.
It really
Yeah.
does. It weakens those core principles of democracy and self-determination.
Right.
And that has a ripple effect.
It spreads.
It spreads way beyond Ukraine's borders.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
Doesn't it?
It does.
What other historical moments can you think of where delayed action led to even bigger consequences?
Yeah, it's a sobering thought, for sure.
For sure.
So let's shift gears for a moment.
Okay.
Let's talk about what support actually looks like.
In practical terms. I
Yeah.
like it.
In practical terms, this excerpt really highlights the challenges that Ukrainian veterans are facing when they come home. And we're not just talking about physical injuries.
Right. It goes so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's the unseen wounds of war,
Yeah.
the trauma, the struggle to fit back into civilian life.
Just to live.
Yeah, just to live, to find a job
To work.
that utilizes their skills and provides a stable income.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's almost like they've won one battle
Yes.
on the front line.
On the front lines.
But they come home to face a whole new set of challenges.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and that struggle to reintegrate
Yes.
impacts everyone around them.
Everyone.
Their families.
Their communities.
It has a direct effect on Ukraine's ability to rebuild and thrive.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's where organizations like Ukraine Boost are stepping up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Can make a real difference.
Can make a real difference.
They're doing some pretty incredible work to help these veterans get back on their feet.
I'm excited to hear more about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are they doing?
Well, one of the things Ukraine Boost focuses on
Okay.
is creating job opportunities that are tailored to veterans' unique skills.
Oh, that's smart.
So, for example, they're helping veterans with cybersecurity backgrounds
Right?
transition into roles protecting vital infrastructure.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Right.
Or think about the medics who served on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine Boost is providing them with training
Okay.
to fill the high demand for healthcare workers.
Yeah.
They've got experience.
That makes sense.
They also have a range of programs to equip veterans for different sectors.
So it's not just about finding any job.
Yeah.
It's about finding a job that allows them to use their existing skills,
Yes.
regain a sense of purpose,
Absolutely.
and contribute to the rebuilding of their nation.
Exactly. It's about empowering them to succeed in this new chapter of their lives. It's about restoring their dignity and helping them become active participants in their communities once again.
So this not only benefits the veterans themselves,
Right.
but also strengthens Ukraine as a whole.
As a whole, and the impact goes even further than that.
Okay, how so?
Supporting Ukraine sends a powerful message to the rest of the world.
What kind of message are we sending?
It's a message of solidarity, of shared values.
Okay.
It shows that the global community is committed to freedom and democracy, and that we will stand up against oppression
Wow.
wherever it may occur.
So it's about a lot more than just Ukraine's borders.
Yes.
It's about setting a precedent.
Precisely think of a thriving Ukraine,
Okay.
defying the odds.
Right.
It becomes a real-life example,
A model.
a model for other nations facing similar pressure from authoritarian regimes.
Yeah.
It provides a roadmap for resistance and rebuilding.
A beacon of hope.
Exactly. And when we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
a secure and independent Ukraine contributes to a more stable Europe
Okay.
and a more balanced global political landscape.
Right, and that's a huge deal. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, we're not just talking about one country
Yeah.
or one conflict.
Mm-hmm.
The ripple effects of what's happening in Ukraine could impact us all.
It really underscores the importance of understanding these events, not just on a surface level, but digging deeper into those long-term implications.
Right, so like what happens in Ukraine could actually shape international relations.
For years to come.
For years to come.
Absolutely.
So what are we talking about here? What kind of impact?
What kind of impact? Well, think about it. The outcome of this conflict will likely set a precedent for how the global community responds to
similar situations.
To similar situations in the future.
So like future conflicts.
Exactly. It could influence the formation of new alliances, reshape existing partnerships, and shift the balance of power on an international scale.
Wow.
Like we could be looking at a whole new world order.
Yeah. That's a lot to process.
It is.
You know, whenever we talk about these big global issues, sometimes it's easy to feel like our individual actions don't really matter.
I hear you.
But I'm guessing this excerpt probably has something to say about that.
You know me too. Well, you're right, it does.
Okay, good.
It emphasizes that every action counts no matter how small.
That's good to hear.
And it actually lays out some very specific and practical ways that individuals can support Ukraine.
Okay. All ears, give me something I can do.
Right.
What can our listeners do to make a difference?
Well, one of the most direct ways to help is through financial contributions.
Okay.
Those donations, no matter the size, can make a tangible difference on the ground.
Okay.
Think about the work being done by organizations like Ukraine Boost.
Right.
Those job creation and training programs are literally helping veterans rebuild their lives.
So when we donate to organizations like that, we're directly supporting those veterans as they transition back to civilian life.
Absolutely. Every dollar contributes to providing those essential resources and opportunities.
That's awesome.
But, you know, supporting Ukraine goes beyond just financial assistance.
Okay, so what else can we do?
Raising awareness is another incredibly powerful way to help.
Okay, how so?
What can we do to spread the word? It's all about sharing accurate information about the situation in Ukraine.
Okay.
Talk to your friends, family, colleagues.
Right.
Help them understand the complexities of what's happening, the challenges that Ukrainians are facing, and why this matters to all of us. Highlight the needs of those veterans who are rebuilding their lives. Share stories of resilience, and shine a light on the organizations that are making a difference.
So even if we're not in a position to donate financially, we can still contribute by amplifying the message.
Absolutely.
And educating others.
Exactly. You can also leverage the power of social media.
Oh, yeah.
Follow organizations like Ukraine Boost, like their posts, share their content, and encourage your own networks to do the same.
Right.
It all adds up.
It does.
The more people who know about the situation and the ways they can help, the more support we can generate.
It's that whole idea of collective action, right?
Yes.
When we all do our part, even in seemingly small ways, it creates a much larger impact.
A much larger impact. It's like we're all pieces of a puzzle coming together to create a bigger picture.
I love that analogy.
It's so true. Imagine the ripple effect of countless individuals around the world, each contributing in their own unique way.
Right.
Donating, raising awareness, volunteering, or simply having those important conversations.
It's about creating that groundswell of support that can really make a difference. And I think it also sends a powerful message of solidarity to the people of Ukraine, letting them know they're not alone in this.
You're absolutely right. It's about demonstrating that we stand with them, that we believe in their right to freedom and self-determination. And, you know, this support goes beyond just Ukraine.
Okay.
It's about upholding the values we hold dear as a global community.
What kind of values?
Values like freedom, democracy, and human rights. These are values worth fighting for, and supporting Ukraine is a way to show our commitment to those principles.
So it's not just about one country or one conflict. It's about standing up for what we believe in and working together to create a world where those values are protected and upheld.
Exactly. And I think that's a really powerful message to take away from all of this.
I agree. So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What's the next step? So after this deep dive, I'm definitely feeling inspired to take action.
That's great.
But, you know, I think a lot of our listeners might be feeling the same way.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
That's the big question, right?
It is. What are some concrete steps that people can take if they want to get involved and show their support?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that.
Good.
There are so many ways to make a difference.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Okay.
If you're able to consider donating to reputable organizations like Ukraine Boost.
We talked about it.
They're doing incredible work directly supporting veterans with job training placement and other essential resources.
Yeah.
Even a small contribution can go a long way.
Absolutely. And we'll be sure to include a link to their website in the show notes for anyone who wants to learn more or donate.
Awesome.
But beyond financial contributions, you were saying that raising awareness is equally important.
So important.
So how do we do that?
Use your voice.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends, family, colleagues. Share what you've learned about the situation in Ukraine and the challenges faced by veterans. Post about it on social media.
Right.
Follow organizations doing good work and amplify their message.
You know, it's funny. We often underestimate the power of just talking about these issues.
Right.
Sharing information.
It seems so simple.
It does. Sometimes just starting those conversations can make a bigger impact than we realize.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of a conversation.
Right.
You never know who you might inspire to take action.
It's true. And speaking of action, another great way to get involved is by supporting businesses that are actively helping Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of companies out there that are donating a portion of their proceeds to Ukrainian relief efforts or hiring Ukrainian refugees.
Right.
So do your research.
Yeah.
Choose to spend your money with companies that align with your values.
It's like voting with your wallet.
It is.
Making conscious consumer choices that reflect the kind of world you want to see.
I like that. And remember, even small actions, when multiplied by thousands or even millions of people, can create a massive ripple effect.
A massive ripple effect.
So don't get discouraged if you feel like you can't do a lot on your own.
I agree.
Every little bit counts.
Every little bit.
This deep dive has really driven home the point.
Yeah.
We're all more interconnected than we sometimes realize.
And we think about. For sure.
What happens in one part of the world can have a ripple effect that reaches us all. Absolutely.
And that means that we all have a role to play.
We do.
In creating a more just and compassionate world.
Beautifully said. I couldn't agree more. This conversation has been incredibly inspiring.
It has.
And I hope it encourages our listeners to take action no matter how big or small.
Me too. To everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you walk away.
Yeah.
Feeling informed, empowered, and inspired to make a difference.
Inspired.
Remember, even in the face of immense challenges, there's always hope, and there's always something we can do to create a brighter future.